Hampshire Attorney General, a Republican, is accusing Democrats of voter suppression there. Voter suppression. He's warning them to stop trashing his state's primary or risk, quote, further enforcement action. The latest sticking point is a letter the DNC sent to the New Hampshire Democratic Party last week saying, quote, January 23rd is a non-binding presidential preference event and is meaningless. And the presidential candidate should take all steps possible not to participate. This fight over New Hampshire's primary started last year when the DNC and President Biden tried to overhaul the party's presidential primary schedule. They wanted to push New Hampshire's primary later in 2024. They wanted South Carolina to be at the front of the calendar. New Hampshire has a law. They hold the first primaries in the nation. And local officials obviously aren't interested in changing that. The DNC has said that it will not award any delegates based on the results of the New Hampshire primary, meaning the Democrat who wins the January primary won't move any closer to winning the Democratic presidential nomination. State's AG, John Formella, responded to the DNC letter with a cease and desist order, saying regardless of whether the DNC refuses to award delegates to the party's national convention based on the results of the January 23rd, 2024 New Hampshire Democratic presidential primary election, this New Hampshire election is not meaningless. Statements to the contrary are false, deceptive, and misleading. Now, while President Biden kept his name off the ballot, members of the party are now getting a little nervous. They're organizing a write-in campaign on his behalf. It's a move to prevent one of his opponents from a win or a really good ending there that would grab headlines. Meanwhile, those opponents, candidates like Dean Phillips, Marianne Williamson, held a debate in New Hampshire on Monday, and they had plenty to say about the DNC's move.
I hope it goes in the National Archives on display because I think it's one of the most egregious affronts to democracy I've ever seen in my entire lifetime as an American, period.
What's going on now is the suppression, shutting down primaries, as Dean was saying. In my case, the invisibilization of my campaign in general.
Phillips and Williamson will be on this show on Friday, along with Cenk Uygur, 3 Democratic candidates the DNC doesn't seem to want to hear from. Let's check in with the governor of the state of New Hampshire, Chris Sununu. Governor, thanks for coming back on the show. Appreciate it. All right, so
you bet.
What is this all about? The Republican AG is threatening the DNC. Is he serious about possibly taking action against them?
Oh, sure. Look, let's start here. Joe Biden and the Democrat Party, they're embarrassed. They tried to take the first in the nation primary. They failed miserably. So we're having our primary. It's on the 23rd. The Democrats will vote. The Republicans will vote. And now I guess the Democrat Party's hypocrisy knows no bounds because now they are just not even like being accused of voter suppression. They're quite egregious about it. They're telling people don't go vote. It's meaningless, right? So, you know, at the end of the day, yes, the Attorney General will absolutely take actions necessary. He has the power to do so. You can't have a national party telling their own party members to not go participate and vote. Whether there's delegates awarded or not, guess what? Nobody cares. That's not what this is about. New Hampshire is the place where the discussion happens, where the primary happens. Joe Biden doesn't want to have to hit the ground. He doesn't want to have to, you know, explain why Bidenomics is a complete joke, explain why the border isn't secure, explain why inflation is crushing people. To their credit, these other candidates on the Democrat side are doing it. They're doing the retail politics here. They're getting a lot of momentum. And now Biden, after trying to ignore New Hampshire, is like, uh-oh, I better have a write-in campaign, right, or otherwise I'm going to get even further embarrassed. So it's become a joke on the Democrat side, but our primary is happening on the 23rd. It's the first in the nation for both Republicans and Democrats, no matter what some party, you know, chairs and leaders down in Washington, D.C. want to say about it.
Well, it does seem to me that New Hampshire Democrats are upset about this as well, right? I mean, the chairman of the New Hampshire Democratic Party made a statement where he said, Ray Buckley, who said, well, it's safe to say in New Hampshire the DNC is less popular than the New York Yankees. State law requires the New Hampshire Secretary of State to conduct the first in the nation primary, and he's going to follow the law, period. Nothing has changed, and we look forward to seeing a great Democratic voter turnout on January 23rd. See, it sounds like you've got a real divide here between the New Hampshire Democrats and the national Democrats.
Well, yeah, look, I don't agree with Ray Buckley too much, but he hit that one right on the head. And he's absolutely right. So this has been a, quote, fight, but we won the fight. The fight's over. Like, New Hampshire won, as we have for the last 100 years. This is exactly where you want the first in the nation primary to happen.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.